right, here we go. And the shirt comes off, and this is what we're working with. So we're definitely looking, I think, at about 15 pounds to go. Again, if this were just getting into summer beach shape, then, this would probably be okay. But it's a competitive sport, and we push the limits. So that's what the December shape is looking like. I definitely think I've made some improvements. But like usual, you can't help but to have a little self-doubt is especially as you know your off season's coming to an end. So guest star today, Francisco Inzunza, and Francisco is he's actually made it on a previous video before, and he's a local NGA pro bodybuilder, and he's going to be making his pro debut next year. And one thing about Francisco, again, it's been really cool to see him move up the ranks. I remember the first time I saw dude get up there on stage, what I was most taken back by was the fact that the kid was not afraid to diet hard. And I think for a lot of natural competitors, the first time we we get ready for our first set of shows, it's always really humbling to see just what contest conditioning weighs in terms of what it is on the scale for most of us. And Francisco, much like myself, is just a smaller frame guy, and conditioning is the great equalizer. It's how 16-inch arms look like they're 17-inch arms. It's how 150 pound physiques look like they're 170 pounds. So he's never been afraid to go there, as they say, and then he's also been improving year after year, including when it comes to his conditioning. So we're both in our off-season shape. We're both about 15-ish pounds, I think, 15, 17 pounds away from the conditioning we're looking for. We both love our floor presses. That was the prime movement today. I had upper body on this specific day, and he had a push day, I believe. Yeah, he had a push day. And as you're going to see, as I get rolling through my upper body, there is definitely some favoritism when it comes to my pulling movements, because again, that's what needs the most work on me. It's going to be everything it's everything back there, from glutes, well, not so much glutes, but definitely hams, back width, back thickness. So I definitely make that a priority. I do start my my upper body days with a pressing movement, because it's really hard to press with a fatigued upper back. And if you go back and you look at the floor pressing videos, before every press, you can really see I'm consciously trying to tighten up my upper back. So Francisco had a full-on upper body day and a full-on push day, so that's definitely a little bit more fun to get in. So I do enjoy pressing more than pulling. I think most guys do. It's a little bit more I guess because technique wise it's a bit more complicated of a movement, most pushing movements, so it's a bit more engaging mentally, and not so much pulling, although I will go through some of my checkpoints when I am pulling in this video, and hopefully those can help you guys out. But again, awesome physique on Francisco, definitely far ahead of where I was when I was his age, in particular when it comes to his planning. I think that's the one thing he does. He doesn't cram for the test, obviously. He's in pretty darn good off-season shape here, and he has a plan. He has a plan set, and there's going to be no guessing. He's not going to be one of those guys that sends out emails the week before his peak week to ask folks, what should I do? Not at all. He's got a plan, and he's going to stick to it, and of course make adjustments along the way. But the basis of his plan is set. And again, no cramming. Great starting point. I think those are key points for a natural bodybuilder. I think it really matters. If you're running a 26-mile marathon compared to a 40-mile marathon. What I mean by that is just how fat are you starting. So I think we're both starting at some pretty good points here. But yeah, the one thing I like about the seal row is the fact that I have to keep my neck in a more neutral position. One thing you're going to see with a lot of folks when they are rowing is that they are actually throwing their head forward in order to finish off the job of the scapula, or it feels like you are, you're really not. And that's the one thing I really like about that seal row, or my massacred seal row, because I turned it into something that's, again, a little bit more bodybuilder friendly, not as much thoracic extension involved. But yeah, I love that movement. If the folks at your gym will not be upset by you elevating benches, I definitely suggest you guys give that movement a try. But yeah, the seal row, and when it comes to pressing, I love floor presses. And then I love this machine here, which is actually a hammer strength um, incline press knockoff. This was welded by someone. So it gets the job done, and it's actually a little heavier, I think, than most other hammer strength presses. It's a little bit more demanding. The angle is, anyways. It's a bit more steep, but yeah, I've gotten pretty good at it, I think, and it's definitely one of the prime pressing movements for me. It's going to be floor presses, a lot of dips, and then that baby right there. So one thing besides the neutral head position that I like to really focus on when I'm rowing is that little hold at the bottom. And again, that ensures that we're using the right muscles, that it got to that finishing position using your back muscles. Because you can't hold it there for, even if it's just a 2-second count, then chances are you wiggled your way into that finishing position. And again, I'm not perfect. This machine here in particular, I have a hard time keeping my head in a more neutral position. As you can see, it kind of tends to fly all over the place, and specifically when it comes to my head, it's very, very noticeable when it's wiggling all over the place. But again, this has also been again another, I think, another big piece to the puzzle, which has been back development for me. Again, you cannot really replicate this with any free weight movement in the gym, and oddly enough, most gyms do happen to have a hammer strength high incline. But again, same thing, neutral head. I actually get my torso a bit out of extension. I tend to have that excessive anterior pelvic tilt. I think a lot of folks who come from an athletic background, we tend to, usually we end up in a bit of an excessive extension, and I know that's kind of the issue with me. So I kind of check that back in, squeeze my glutes, get myself in a more neutral position, and again, head back, and then some definitely some holds at the end of the motion. When it comes to the eccentric, I probably have an eccentric that drags a little longer on my rowing movements compared to say my squats, my deadlifts, my presses. And the main reason for that is because if I don't do that, I tend to break form, whether it be me tucking my pelvis back, or me moving my head, or extending all the way at the end of the row. I tend to get sloppy, and this kind of keeps me. It's not so much because I am a tempo junkie at all. It's just it's the pace which allows me to keep good and tight form the whole time. So, but yeah, moving on, Francisco here. I'm gonna go ahead and link you guys to his Instagram. He'll keep you guys updated with how his contest season is unraveling. He also has a channel, and again, he's gonna be a fun one to watch, because every year he's gotten better. He's never backslided. He's one of those guys that doesn't look the same every single year. There's always something that he's made improvements on. So really see what he does this contest season, in particular when it comes to his conditioning. I think he's to take his conditioning to that whole new level. And how could you not be a guy that loves his blood flow restriction? That's definitely something we both enjoy, and we probably enjoy a bit too much. But yeah, he enjoys his blood flow restriction, and actually of late, this has been something that I've been using quite a bit in my training. And again, I'm starting to use it now because I want to get used to it. There is definitely some growing pains that come with blood flow restriction. It's nearly unbearable initially. and then you kind of get used to it, and it's just on a pain scale from 1 to 10, it becomes a 10 and not an 11. But I'm starting to incorporate it now so that it's smooth sailing once I do start using it on a very regular basis once it comes time to prep. And again, it's a joint saver. That's my main reason for using it. I like to save my joints for the other big movements and spare them a bit more when it comes to the single joint movements. So you usually see me doing that on a lot of my accessory movements. And here's a guest appearance by Brian Jewell, who ended up pulling from 4-inch blocks. I believe this was 570, 570 for a couple reps here. He totally blew this in the water about a week later, and he got 600 for 2 reps. Insanely strong 20-year-old right there. But yeah, that is this week. This is gonna be this week's report. I definitely want you guys to stay tuned because we do have some pretty cool announcements here on the 3D Muscle Journey channel. A lot of things are happening in December. We have a lot of cool things to share with you guys. Oh, I think they're cool anyways, but stay tuned for that. And then also, I've been reading some of the comments, and there's one particular announcement that I think the folks out there who partake in our channel and will really get a kick out of the fact that we're bringing it back. So that's going to be my hint. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for what we have coming. More journal updates as time progresses. My contest prep diet starts officially on the 1st of January, and I might actually be vacationing, but we will figure out a way to get it done. And yeah, these last close-ups here were just to kind of show you guys that, you know, even in the off season, every once in a while, I get pretty flat ski. And this was definitely one of those days where I was walking around a little bit stringier than I typically am. So it's definitely a battle right now sometimes to just get in enough food. So I'm in a good position, I think, when it comes time to prep. And I think it's going to be a pretty efficient prep, at least my most efficient prep personally. So look forward to sharing that with you guys, and get used to seeing me stringy, because in a few weeks, that's basically what I'm going to look like for an extended period of time.